down here on the field and just watching what's been going on. I've kept my eyes on Jesse Hester, the head coach for Glade Central. He early on told me before the game that he had some concerns about keeping his players calm. They were very excited for this game. He said that was a concern. But then we see in game, first drive of the game, it's 4th and 11, and it's Coach Hester that seems to be the one that got excited when he went for it on 4th and 11. They got the conversion, of course, went on to get the touchdown. I saw him turn around and talk to one of his assistant coaches. I'm not a lip reader, but if I were to guess, it looked to me like he said, they can't stop us. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Daryl. Yeah, this has been a surprising game in a lot of ways. You know, we said Blaze Thompson thought that the Raiders might be a little overconfident in this, and it looks like he was right to some extent. But now we've got a 1-point game. But it was an interesting quote by Jesse Hester earlier in the week. He said, if anything goes true to form, I'll be extremely shocked if we lose this game. He still could be very shocked the way this game is going. It does look like a pretty even ball game at this point. So to Joshua Johnson, back, though somebody moved, and this play will ultimately come back.
But you can see that what looks like a completely worthless play, it turns into a 7-yard gain. It's going to come back, but every player out there who touches the ball is literally capable of taking it to the house.
Yeah, I believe that to be the case, absolutely. You know, these two teams, 6 state championships apiece. But again, like you said earlier, the Muck Bowl is as important to these guys as any state championship.
Well, if you look at the NFL players that have played at these two schools, from my high school, and I'm sure your high school, if you had one guy, I mean, that was really special. We're talking about 20, 30 players.
Right. The odds of someone going from high school to the NFL is about 1,000,000 to 1. And these teams have a lot of millionaires in that respect. All right, so here we go, 2nd and about 14. Up the middle, Pickett. Nice move. That gets him free on the outside to the left. He's looking for the corner. He is going to be stopped, but not before he gains a big chunk of yardage. I'd say about 25 yards. Looks like I'm trying to see where they spot him. They might say he went out of bounds a little sooner.
I'll tell you what, Dan, Pickett is special. He is running away from people, and he's got great vision. What schools look?
West Virginia, Steve Dorsey's alma mater.
They got a great one. They got a great one.
So now on the about the 44-yard line, 2nd and 10.
1st and 10.
And 1st and 10. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the guy doing the yard marker, and I should be keeping track myself. Over the left side there, a gain of about 8 or 9. And that was Noel.
The defensive coordinator for Glade Central has to be very concerned right now. And I'll tell you why. Pahokee is literally running the ball right at that supposed unbreakable defensive line. And there are some gaping holes. And if they can do that and then throw play action, it's going to be a long night. Glade Central's got to really shore up defensively.
All right, we've got a timeout on the field. Now, as a coach, you see that Glades makes their living throwing the ball. Pahokee, certainly a more balanced attack. You've got about even yards passing to running. What do you do as a coach to try to exploit the other side on that?
Well, I definitely think when you're balanced, like that, I think it's much harder to defend because you're not really sure to be up on your toes or back on your heels going forward or going backwards. So you got to tell your guys, again, tackle. That's the key.
All right, and returning to the list of sponsors that I was reading, Residential Appraisal Specialists, Inc., the friends and family of the Western Communities, George DeGarro of QtrA.avi of Miami for supplying us with a 3-play replay system that is doing a great job. We've already gotten to see some great replays, and that definitely enhances our broadcast. So, back to the action. 2nd down and 1.
Have the ball.
The play action looking deep is Johnson. He's got a man open. Does he have it? No, just a little bit over the outstretched fingers of his receiver there. And who could be hurt. He is
I definitely think
up.
when he stretched out, Dan, I think he pulled a hamstring because he was really trying to catch that football. Great call by Pahokee. Came out and threw play action and actually had him wide open.
And that's not the guy you want to pull a hamstring. That's Chris Dunkley lying in the end zone holding his hamstring there.
No, and Dunkley obviously one of their big weapons. Johnson threw the ball. He could have put a little more air into it, and Dunkley ran a great route. He ran a little out and up and really should have been 6. It was a really good call from the Pahokee bench.
And Dunkley, of course, one of a triple threat on the Pahokee squad. They've got 3 wide receivers who could be going Division I after this year. But Dunkley is probably the highest rated player nationally. He has listed Florida as his favorite, but has not committed yet.
Well, I was hoping it was just a cramp.
Yeah, but that doesn't look like it.
But when they're carrying him off the field like this, I hope to goodness that he's able to return and it is a cramp.
Yeah, that could be a very big development for Pahokee. But again, Pahokee's got a lot of talent out there. It's not all just the Chris Dunkley show. So, and one thing I was going to tell you is, one thing I like about this game, we know that there are all these D1 players who play in this game, but ultimately it's sometimes these juniors or even a sophomore who end up making the big play in the game, and that's what I love to see as well. On 3rd and short, and that is not going to make it. Stopped with no gain whatsoever is Pickett.
Now
so
Pickett,
that's going to bring a 4th down.
All right, we're going to look at the injury here, and I'll be able maybe to tell you what happened to Dunkley. We just got the end of it there. It looked like a hamstring to me, but we're going to have to wait and get a word from the sideline.
The Blue Devils will go for it on 4th down, but a big hit in the backfield by number 17. Looks like Dominic Gibson came through and made the tackle on Merrill Noel.
Well, here's what's happening defensively for Glades. They are now in almost a goal line defense, and they're playing man on the outside. So now they've basically got 9 guys you got to block inside. And there's
and just look at him shoot through there. Big hit
by Dominic, and he basically came through a gap. It's a blitz, run blitz type of defense, and he really smacked him.
And there's what I'm talking about. That was a freshman, no, a sophomore, 10th grader, who came in and made that hit, and a big one to stop that drive. And Pahokee had not been stopped yet. So
well, these are the only 2 high school football teams that never rebuild.
Right, they reload.
They just reload.
So reloading on the 50-yard line. Oh, but there's a flag on the play. Thomas is upset.
We got movement on the offensive line.
I was going to say either that or delay. Let's see what the call is. And it is delay a game. So that'll bring up a 1st and 15. A 14-13 ball game. Pahokee leading it over the host Raiders. Another flag as Thomas goes deep looking for a man, and that's going to be knocked away. Tight coverage back there by Fred Pickett, who's also a pretty good defensive back.
Yeah, yes he is. Well, you're going to have your best athlete on the field most of the time in high school. But that was thrown up. They thought they were going to get some man coverage on that side, but this free safety came over and helped it out. We got a motion penalty, or a shift penalty against Glade Central. Let's see what Pahokee does. And they moved him back again.
They're going to give him 1st down again and a 1st and 20.
Now let me ask you as a observer, would you have taken the penalty there, or you would have made it 2nd and 15?
I would give them less downs. As explosive as these guys are, I mean, Glades has had 1st and 20 before, and you thought that they were over, and they end up scoring a couple plays later. So here's the inside handoff, and looking like he was making some progress, but then thrown back pretty violently there was Antoine Chisholm.
Outstanding play by the Pahokee defensive end.
That looked like number 58 to me.
Yeah, it was.
Antonio Ford.
If Ford comes off the edge and sheds the blocker,
and that's another Wake Forest boy. That's another Demon Deacon, by the way.
Well, maybe we might be looking at Wake Forest as one of the favorites in the Southeast or the Atlantic Conference.
Yeah, they're getting some talent from down here, no doubt about it.
Now Pahokee's gone to a cover 2 look.
Okay, 2nd and 20 now. No gain on that previous play. Now we've got some more whistles.
We got to delay a game, Dan. The back judge just signaled to delay the game, and we got what, 2nd and 25?
You know, and if it were any other game, I would say the penalties would make this extremely dull. However, this has been anything but dull, and there have been a good share of penalties on both sides.
That's a great point, Dan. It really is.
Back to throw again, and now going out to the flat, and a great catch. Was he in bounds? Yes, he was. They are saying he makes the catch. That's Gregory Dent, who is having a big night so far.
My goodness, what a great throw by Thomas. I'm telling you, he gets out of the pocket, steps up, and just lays the ball in the only place it can be thrown. Look at this. Watch this ball just come down like it.
And I initially thought he was
dropped it to him.
I initially thought he was going to go to his running back. It looked like he was going that way, and then all of a sudden just down the side like that. That's a tough throw to make right there.
One of the things about high school football that I like is you don't have to have both feet in bounds when you catch the ball. You only have to have 1 foot down. And that really helps sometimes.
All right, 3rd and very short, but out of the shotgun position. Going to hand it up the middle anyway, and easily for the first down is Antoine Chisholm, but that right there looked very like an offensive holding call.
And I would say 100% likely. Let's go back to what you said before, though, about downs versus yards. I was in total agreement with you because of the potential of big plays. Yep. I think you limit their number, both teams. And if you don't, you're going to get burned. We saw it happen right here.
Yeah, if you're a defensive coordinator, the objective has got to be, I want fewer offensive plays out of those guys. However we can do it, I would think.
And you'll notice that Glade Central now is doing a much better job of blocking the edges, the defensive ends coming off the edge.
Penalties have hurt both teams, and now 3rd and 8 for Glades. But, of course, they could have made those. A lot of pressure. There's a long ball and turning, and, almost getting it. But not going to be a call. The faithful here asking for the flag, but they're not going to get it. That would look like it was bent again out there. Good coverage, though, by Pahokee.
Now, Dent, I think Dent should have caught this ball. I am so impressed with the quarterback because, again, number 4.
It was right there. The pass was right there.
Absolutely. As Zachary Allen comes off the edge again, left tackle for Glades is really struggling with him. And under tremendous pressure, he puts the ball where it can be caught. And I thought he should have come down with it.
And here's another reason why you want to limit the offensive plays, because neither team is punting. So here goes another 4th down one. You know, when a conservative team right here might say, well, let's pin them back. No such going. 4th and 8, and Glades is going for it. Back to throw Thomas. He's got a man in the flat. He's going to go underneath. And a nice spin move there. And almost staying in bounds right there was Antoine Chisholm. But he picks up a nice gain down the left sideline.
The player who made that play, Dan, was the quarterback. He was looking for the curl route by the wide receiver, and he pulled his arm down and got the ball. Watch right here.
Yep.
Just put a little touch on the ball. Gets it out to another athlete. Good blocking out here by number 5, and they get the first down. And this is what we talked about, limiting down.
And that was Dent with the block. Dent, who's had a big night as well, is also showing he can block as well.